In today's video, a unique composition and a stunning glitterific product leads to one of my most beautiful paintings ever. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to another video. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm very, very excited to do this painting today. This is a 12 by 24 gallery wrapped canvas. I'm going to put down a white base coat first, and then on top of that, I'm going to be using a majority of blue colors. Now, my paints are all mixed. 1 part paint, 3 parts American Floral, and water till it reaches the consistency where you're able to blow it. What is that consistency? First of all, it looks like this. I don't know if you can see that. It flows off the stick and leaves a small mound and disappears. And if you are familiar with the consistency chart, this would be about a number 4 on that chart. If you're not familiar with that chart and you have an issue with consistency, look at the description of this video and you'll see a link for the consistency chart video. It's a big help, okay? So that is what the paints are mixed like today. American Floral and water. The brand of paint I'm using is Amsterdam. They're standard acrylic paints. I absolutely love them. And like I said, it's a majority of all blue colors. And there's a few here that I even tweaked. Like I put some silver into the blue to make a pretty shimmery blue. You know, just play around with your paints. You can mix and match them to make unique colors. There's another paint I'm going to be using too today, and it's called an interference paint. Now, Amsterdam's interference paints, they label them as pearl paints, but they're commonly known from other brands as interference paints. And what they are is they look like they're white, but when they dry, they're either a shimmery blue, a shimmery red, shimmery violet, gold, and they really add just like a nice effect to your painting. So I'm using their pearl blue. So the first thing I'm going to do is put down a base coat, blow it around to get my canvas covered, and then I'll come back and explain the rest. You can apply a base coat to a painting several different ways. This is my favorite way to do it. I pour down my white paint, and then I use my blow dryer to spread it out all over the surface of the canvas. Once that's done, I come back and I tilt it around, making sure I get all the big puddles of paint off the canvas and I have a smooth surface to work on. I then come in with a little culinary torch and pop all of the bubbles. Okay, so I have my base coat down and I torched the bubbles. Now I'm going to kind of eyeball where the center is, and I'm just going to lay this lid in the center. First color you put down when you're blowing out paint is going to like outline your blowout. So if you're doing a Dutch pour and you're trying to create petals, it'll be the outline around the petals. And then the last paint that you put down on top will be your most predominant color. That's the one you'll see the most of. So if we go like this, over here. All right, here we go. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to come this way and go like this. I have to be careful because I am extremely heavy-handed with paint, and I always add too much, and that's not needed here. So that's what we're going to do. If you're using an interference paint or a metallic, you want to make sure that you sandwich them in between other colors. They perform the best that way. When you go and blow them around or swipe them, when they're in between those colors, they churn. And whatever they make these products with, especially the 24 karat gold and the sterling from Deco Art, I don't know if it's some kind of a solvent base or what, but it creates the most beautiful cells. So what I'm going to do is lay some of the interference down first, because that will look pretty on top of this blue background, this dark blue background when it dries. And then I'll put down the silver. Interference colors always look the best when they're on a dark background. If you put them on top of a white background, they will give you more of a abalone shell look, like the inside of an oyster shell, just a really opalescent type of look. A question I always get is, how much paint do you put down? For a canvas this size, once the paints are all applied, the width of the line of paint that I have is usually about 1 inch wide. Suction. All right. So now I'm going to take the blow dryer and I'm going to just blow the pattern straight out, okay? So do you notice I'm aiming the air at the colored paint, not at the white paint? And you'll see me pausing here. I just took a long pause. That is because I'm thinking and looking at the composition before I go ahead and blow again. There's no rush to this. You can just take your time, look at the pattern, blow a little section out, stop, look at the next section, try to envision it in your mind before you go on to the next area. I notice a lot of times when I teach classes, the students get in there with the blow dryer and they go really fast through the whole section because I don't know if they're worried that the paint is going to dry from the blow dryer or what, but it's not going to. Just take your time and be patient with it. Just go slow. Now I'm just using my finger to kind of fix the center of my ring again, just because it got a little wonky there, but you'll see more what I do with that coming up. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry right here. Nowhere near finished, so don't judge it yet, okay? But check this out. Look at these beautiful cells and lacing. And actually, I'll put the flash on. See, it's all like metallic, shimmery looking. So now we'll just let it dry, and then when I come back, I'll show you the next step, okay? So it's now a week later and the painting is dry, and I want to make a few alterations because I did make a little mistake when I was blowing, and I closed off the ring in the center. I wanted there to be a gap. So I'm just using some heavy body white paint from Liquitex to cover up some of those areas. When a painting is done, and if there's areas you don't like, try to use your imagination to turn it into something different. Now, I had this vision in my mind before I made this mistake. This is actually what I wanted it to look like. But now that I've done that, I've pulled out my most favorite glitter in the world, WYNN Modern Art. It's always so hard to choose one color, but I've gone with this beautiful Opal 2.0, and I'm going to take some of that. I'm going to mix it with some high gloss varnish from Deco Art. You could use any brand varnish, even if it's not a gloss or a high gloss. It will work just like a glue for you. So I fill the cup up halfway, and I slowly add this varnish until it gets to the right consistency, which is you want it to flow off of the stick, but you don't want it thin. You want it to plop and flow like this is doing right here. This is the perfect consistency for adding glitter to a painting. So I have a little bottle here with a fine point tip that I'm going to be using to apply this. And my idea is to outline the entire Dutch pour with this beautiful glitter. So it'll have this beautiful sparkling edge to it. And my oh my, I cannot wait to show you the finished results because it came out stunning. While I have a minute here, I just want to give you an update on my next soap release, which will be February 25th. I cannot wait to show you the designs I have for this next release. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So now once you finish adding this, you're going to let it dry 4 to 6 hours and on to the final step, which would be resin or varnish. I choose to use resin. I love my KS resin. I use the Liquid Art Ultra UV type, and I like to use it because it looks like you're putting a sheet of glass over the painting. It also magnifies the colors and just makes everything look so much more vibrant and pronounced. So I pour it into the center, and then I use my digits to spread it all over the canvas. I give it a good massage, a good rub down. And then once the whole surface is covered, I'll then take my hand and push some towards the edge of the canvas, letting a little bit overflow. And then I will gently massage it into the sides. God, that sounds just so wrong. This does not sound like an art video now at all. But anyway, after I'm done with that, we pop the bubbles, let it sit covered somewhere for 24 hours, and here are the finished results. I am so in love with this painting. The composition is exactly what I had in mind after I altered it a little bit. It's just so unique and vibrant. The flow of it, the cells and lacing, the color of the blues. I'm going to show you it inside now in a little bit of a darker room. Oh, it's just so beautiful. I love that dark turquoise color. It's actually, I believe that was the bluish green or greenish blue by Amsterdam with a little bit of a pearl medium added to it to give it a metallic look. And the edges are sparkling so pretty. I know it's hard to see on camera, but they are just twinkling and I love it. I hope you guys loved it too. So the lesson to be learned in this is just take your time with that blow dryer. Again, there's no rush. The paint is going nowhere. Enjoy it. Think about what you want to see on that canvas and practice. Just keep practicing. You will get there, my friend. I promise. So thank you for joining me today. This painting is available for purchase if you're interested. Just send me an email, artbytammy@yahoo.com. This is a 12 by 24 canvas. Make sure you check out the description for all the discounts, ways to follow me, and make sure, most importantly, you subscribe. Thank you so very much. I love you all, and happy pouring.